Hi everyone, thanks so much for being here. I'm Zachary Model. I'm a therapist in My Therapy NYC, a group practice in the Flatiron neighborhood of Manhattan. Today we'll be exploring how practicing compassion undoes stress and builds resilience. I'll be drawing from a number of sources, but want to name researcher clinicians Kristen Neff, Christopher Germer, Luella Frank, and especially Joe Lovizzo, the creator of compassion-based resilience training. Let's begin by defining our terms. Stress is the experience of any event as threatening or overwhelming. Resilience is the capacity to cope with and bounce back from stress. Compassion, as defined by the Dalai Lama, is the wish that all beings be free from suffering. This includes self-compassion or self-kindness, which is the wish that oneself be free from suffering. And a very important point, compassion can be learned and cultivated through practice. So now we can start putting those terms together in our exploration of how practicing compassion undoes stress and builds resilience. To do so, we need to start by considering evolution, which has prepared us to process information in two binary modes. One mode is defensive, rooted in survival instincts amid stress and trauma, including fleeing or fighting predators. One mode is socially engaged, rooted in abundance, instincts for healing, cooperation, and learning. Now the catch is that we're evolved to be far more inclined towards survival instincts. We've experienced helplessness as infants. We may have experienced depression. We've likely participated in oppression. In addition to the challenges of our individual histories, we carry evolutionary, sociocultural, and familial histories of intergenerational stress and trauma. Through this transmission, we are highly evolved to be on guard and hypersensitive to threat. In other words, we have a deeply entrenched negativity bias. This was likely necessary for Homo sapiens survival, may still serve us at times, but it also has a way of interfering with our happiness and health. So what to do? It requires intention and a great deal of reinforcement to shift away from a state of habitual threat towards a state of safety and connection. This does not mean becoming doormats, as some of my clients like to say. It means managing feelings of threat and reactivity and being open to finding new, safer states of being in the world. That's not easy, but there are very good reasons to do the work. Feelings of safety and connection are associated with almost every positive index of mental health and general well-being. On the flip side, feeling threatened and disconnected is associated with numerous mental and physical illnesses. I think many of us know this on a visceral level. We know what alone, fearful, and threatened feels like. Hopefully we've had some chances to experience what safer and more connected feels like. So what can we do about this? Luckily, human ingenuity has been hard at work. The practices of mindfulness and compassion elicit and build our natural capacity for overriding evolutionary and conditioned stress reactive responses in favor of regenerative, creative, cooperative responses. I'd like to leave you with a takeaway practice today. Each day for a week, try scheduling 3 to 5 minutes 2 times per day for a compassion practice. That's 3 to 5 minutes, 2 times per day for 7 days, and see what you notice. The foundation of the practice is simply spending those few minutes offering compassion. In other words, with the wish for yourself and others to be free from suffering. Explore what that means for you. For example, many of us have a tendency to be highly critical of ourselves or others, and this can be a source of great suffering. During your practice, you could explore what it feels like to sit for a few minutes, being enough, knowing you're trying your best, putting that demand to be more or to be different on hold for just a few minutes, or offering that to others. Another example, you could spend those minutes simply asking that you and others be free from suffering, much like a prayer. Do some experimenting. However you end up using those minutes, what's important is your intention. Sometimes it's literally like flipping a switch. And one more detail. Researcher Stephen Porges has taught us that feeling safer requires more than just an absence of danger. It requires cues of safety. For example, a kind voice or a loving touch, both of which you can try offering to yourself. During your few minutes, you could put your hands on your heart or anywhere else on your body that feels right, with the intention of offering kindness and relieving suffering. In your mind or out loud, if you prefer, you can speak to yourself or others with a kind voice. Finally, in case you're interested in a deeper dive into this topic, I want to let you know that I'll be doing exactly that. The course will be in March, meeting once per week, 1.5 hours for 6 weeks. Each meeting will include both didactic learning and experiential learning. The method is named Compassion-Based Resilience Training, or simply CBRT. It is an evidence-based modular training that has been continually refined over the last 20 years and includes a wealth of student resources, including a student manual, guided meditations, research articles, and study aids. CBRT was created by Joe Loizzo, a Harvard-trained psychiatrist and Columbia-trained Buddhist scholar who is also a student of the Dalai Lama. Joe's unique background has allowed him to integrate classical techniques of contemplative self-regulation from India and Tibet with contemporary psychiatric knowledge. I've had the privilege of studying with Joe in various contexts over the last decade, so I know this training contains many of the insights he holds most dear. I'd be very excited to share this with you if you choose to join. That is it for today. Thank you again for joining me.